this is PopImpressKA Journal, and we're here with Tattoo Tony. This is Tattoo Tony, and in his famous shop, Under My Skin.
I don't know, famous, maybe infamous.
Infamous, but definitely has a lot of history in those walls. Now, Tony, I know you've been in the business for a while, and you've been an accomplished tattoo artist, and you've done a lot of interesting projects with people.
Absolutely.
Now, I would like to ask you, how did you start being a tattoo artist, and what made you to be so successful that you are today?
Okay. Well, I mean, I grew up in a tattoo shop. I started working in a tattoo shop in the early 80s. Basically, I was the cleanup boy, and sat around and watched a bunch of old bikers, and you know, which basically taught me what I know today. You know, just sitting around watching them and then building my craft from there. So.
What do you think is the most important qualities of being a tattoo artist and know your craft very well?
Well, I mean, one of the most important things is of course, make sure you learn the right way. Big thing is you get people nowadays. You know, you can buy kits on eBay or whatever the case may be, and you start tattooing out of the house. That's not the way to do it. If somebody truly wants to be a real tattoo artist, go through an apprenticeship, learn the proper way on how to tattoo somebody, and then start building your career from there. It's not as easy as picking up a machine and tattooing, you know. So it takes a lot of years of practice.
Well, and now we have actually Tony sitting in the chair, and one of his co-workers.
Yes, actually, I've got the famous Edward Lee drawn on me. Edward has been tattooing probably longer than me, and is a world-renowned tattoo artist, and I'm fortunate enough to have him in my studio and he's going to be doing a little bit of artwork on me here momentarily. So
that's fantastic. And can you tell me, like, the process of a tattoo? How does it start? Because I know you have a special. The office is beautiful. One of the nicest shops I ever seen. So what's the process of getting a tattoo if people want to get it and they're not sure or they're not feel comfortable or?
I mean, a big thing is if somebody has an idea that they want to get something on their body for the rest of their life, walk into a shop and talk to an artist. Don't just walk into a shop and say, okay, I want to do it. Make sure you know your artist. Make sure your artist knows exactly what they're doing. Make sure they're reputable. Don't just go to anybody. But walk in and feel your artist out, and make sure you're comfortable with that person that's going to be putting that image on your body for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And then tell me about your roots. I know you had a very difficult, challenging, but interesting road in the past and following now. Can you tell me what happened to you in the past? What made you to become the person that you are today?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not shy to talk about it. I'm a recovering drug addict. I'm actually getting ready to celebrate 9 years clean.
Fantastic.
And I mean, my life. Like I said before, I grew up around a bunch of bikers and drugs, and the 80s and early 90s were pretty rough to me. In 2004, I was approached by a gentleman who basically saved my life and helped to clean me up. A man by the name of Brett Michaels, which if anybody Googles me, they can find out exactly what me and Brett Michaels are known for. He's been a big part of my life and influenced my life for the last 9 years, and the reason why I'm clean sober today.
That's wonderful. And I know that he's been in the music industry, and a lot of people love what he do and follow him. And also I know you became such a big part of what he does also, and then you even did a show together.
Oh yeah, I've done quite a few shows with him.
Right.
I was just recently I was on Celebrity Apprentice again with him.
How do you think your relationship as friends, as workers, how did you develop through the years? What did you learn about each other that helped you to become the person?
Well, I mean, one thing that me and Brett, I could say, Brett has a lot of drive. I mean, Brett is a go-getter and a businessman, and I believe that's rubbed off on me because now I'm a workaholic just like he is. Brett works 365 days a year. I work 366 days a year. He's given me a lot of drive to make me open my eyes and go after what I want out of life.
And of course, behind the glam and all the touring, and people see one side of an artist. They see you as a tourist, but they don't really understand that behind it, everyday labor is pretty much very difficult. What do you think is your day like when you wake up, like you would?
Well, I mean, my day is pretty, to myself anyway, is pretty interesting. I'm a single father to a 5-year-old son that I have full sole custody of. I wake up in the morning. I have to get my son ready for school. I have to get my son to school. And then I'm in the studio at 9 o'clock in the morning. Pick my son up after he gets out of school, and then I'm back in the studio till 10 o'clock at night. I really don't have much of a life outside the studio. Like a lot of people, you know, they have their families and friends and so on and so forth. My family and friends are the people that are in my studio because I'm so involved in my work. I work every day. So, but I also have to work to make sure that little boy has what he needs out of life because he's my pride and joy.
So what do you think, because I know that he is growing, he's looking up to you, what do you think is the most important factor of him when he asks you questions? Because I know that's the age where they always ask questions.
I mean, the biggest thing is to be honest with him. I'm not going to get into the biological part of him, but when he starts asking me questions, I have to tell him the truth. You know, I want my son to know what I've been through and where I'm at and what I'm doing for him.
What is your background as far as the 25 years of being a tattoo artist? Did you get your experience through different people, or did you go, or did you do self-teaching?
I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a shop. I got to learn under a man named Gene Bernardo, another guy named Rebel, another guy named Tommy Bierman. Those were my first influences when I first started tattooing. And then as I started learning more and more, I started to learn who Paul Booth was. I learned who Edward Lee was, which, you know,
here's Edward Lee.
He's like an all-time idol. Like I'm in my awe right now to be just for him drawing on me.
No, this is like an incredible historical moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be around so many different tattoo artists and develop my own style over the years that it's made me who I am.
And who is the most fascinating person that you did tattoo on?
Edward Lee. No.
Edward Lee. And you did Brad Michael, of course,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And how many tattoos he has?
Brad has 5.
How many do you have?
Me?
Yes.
1.
You just have 1.
Yeah, it starts from here and goes all the way down to the bottom.
Just 1.
That's it.
Just it's like
That's
a 2.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, you know, because I see a lot of people, your piece on your face is really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know that it's a lot of work to put in it. So, how many hours did you sit to do, like, the left side of it?
I've got 9 hours in my face.
9 hours in your face.
In my culture, I'm Puerto Rican and Samoan. And as I started learning more and more about my heritage and coming into my, you know, being sober, I learned that when a boy becomes a man, they get their face tattooed. So as I started to come through my sobriety and cleaning myself up, I started getting my face done. And then, you know, 9 years later, half my face is done, and I'm a man now.
And your last name is Rodriguez, Tony Rodriguez. So by coming to your roots, what do you think is the most important factor that you draw being with that rich heritage? Because I know those roots are very valuable and people go back to the historical values. What do you think for you is important as a human being to carry it on to your next generation?
You know, it's loyalty, honesty, and respect. That's it. You know, that's what it all boils down to. I mean, if you could be loyal and honest and respect your fellow man, which is what I'm teaching my son, he'll grow up to be a great man, and hopefully others around him will be the same way.
And I know that you are producing that incredible drink. It's actually a tea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's alcoholic iced tea.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me, how did you come up with that brand and what made you to create that as a part of your shop?
The beverage is Tattoo Tony's Hard Iced Tea. I was approached by a bottling company. I started branding myself a little more, especially after being on the TV shows with Brett. I mean, you can, you know, like I said earlier, you can Google Tattoo Tony and be surprised what you can find out about me. As I started branding myself, I had a bottling company come approach me and ask me if I'd be interested in drawing a label for their iced tea. So I was like, okay, yeah, you know, I'll do it, whatever. So it originally started off as Jersey Shore Hard Iced Tea. As we started developing a little more and more, and the bottling company started to see the response that I was getting because my name was involved in it, they wound up changing the whole name of the brand to Tattoo Tony's Hard Iced Tea. And then, you know, each bottle, there's 5 different flavors, 5 different labels. I mean, it's something cool to have for your collection, you know, sitting up there with all the tattoo designs.
What other flavors?
Like there's raspberry, peach, lemon, green tea, and sweet.
And what's your favorite?
I don't drink.
Oh, you don't drink?
I don't drink.
There you go. There you go.
I'm responsible.
Very interesting.
I have a little boy I have to take care of, so
that's very important.
my partying days are far behind me.
Yeah, and then so what do you think would be the encouragement for children out there that maybe struggling, maybe have very difficult homes to live in? What do you think your advice would be for them to move forward and not to be caught up in the bad situation of life?
Well, I mean, your life is what you make of it. I mean, being young, you think you know everything, you really don't. You have to find somebody to look up to. Have somebody help you walk down the street. Somebody that's been there and done that. If somebody a little bit older says to you, look, I've been there, done that, listen to what they have to say. Because you'd be surprised what that person will be able to teach you. You know, as far as being, coming up and growing up to be successful, like I was telling you earlier, you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. As long as you believe in that, you'll be just fine.
Great. And I know that you've been doing a lot of charity work, and also you've been helping people with victims of Sandy. Can you tell me more about your organization, your chapters around the country? Sure.
We have Under My Skin for Life Foundation, which if you want to do some more research, it's undermyskinforlife.org. We're a bunch of people that help. Our motto is to help those in times of need. I mean, since Sandy's hit, we've pulled eight trailer loads of stuff just out of my shop alone. Christmas time we did a toy drive. We got over 500 toys in a matter of 3 days, and we went out to where the destruction was. Where people are still living in their houses with half electricity, flooded. These people didn't have Christmas. So we went out, me and my organization, and handed out toys to the community. Instead of just giving it to a place and saying, okay, we'll distribute these, we actually went out and did it. We do a lot of stuff to give back. We're doing something next month over here on Sandy Hook to help clean up the hook a little bit. We just did a big event in Allentown where we raised money at a restaurant and at the bike run. We're doing a big event May 11th with a band called Twisted Sister. I don't know if you remember Twisted Sister from the 80s.
Of course.
I mean, we're always doing something to help out the fellow man, though. It's all about, I've got a little bit of recognition. I'm not famous. Like a lot of people say, oh, you're tattooed Tony, you're this or that. You know what? I'm not famous. You know what? I'm well known. And if I could take my name and do one thing for one person, then I've accomplished something in my life, and that's what it's all about.
That's true. So basically, by helping others, it will always come back to you, but at the same time you feel good about yourself.
Absolutely. It's not like all the stuff we do, it's not about, okay, well, I did this. You know what? It's about helping that other person. And it's about being able to lay my head down at night and be like, okay, I did this to help that person.
If you go back to all those thinkers and people that actually changed the world in a good way, who do you think the person would strike you the most, or you would want to have a conversation with? From everybody out there, because there's Rousseau, there's Voltaire, there's
probably Gandhi.
Gandhi, yes, Gandhi.
I'm sure he could open up some stuff in my head that would really make me think.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself a spiritual person?
I'm not very spiritual. I mean, I know there's a higher power. There is a God. I pray to God all the time. And I know when people pass it, they go somewhere. Hopefully to a better place.
Right.
Because God knows we've all lost a lot of loved ones. I'm not very, very spiritual.
If you would pick a star you want to work with to do a tattoo on, who would it be?
Bret Michaels.
Bret Michaels. How about he's gonna have the 6 tattoo. And then how if you would pick a sports star, because I know Dennis Rodman.
Oh yeah. I've worked with Dennis. I worked with Dennis a couple months ago with the Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, okay.
Real nice guy.
So, what do you think as far as experience? Because the people portray him so differently in many ways.
You know what? The big thing is stuff on TV. Don't believe everything you see, because when it comes to TV, things are portrayed a certain way. But when you actually get a chance to sit down and talk to a person, you'll be surprised how down to earth people really are. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of celebrities and stuff like that over the years. And you have your I don't get starstruck. I'll be like, who is that? Oh, hey, how are you? But a lot of these people just want to be treated just like me. We're sitting here talking and carrying on a conversation. That's all they want. They don't want, oh, hey, can I get your autograph and the whole 9 yards? You know what I mean? It's just all about respect.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
3 wishes.
6 more.
There you go.
The list is growing.
Honestly, the only thing I would really want out of life is just to know that my son will be okay. Anything that I could wish for, I have.
Yeah. And then tell me like more about like the whole process. I know you have a lot of artwork over here. Are those artworks that were taken the pictures of different artists or people you worked with in the past?
Well, I mean, like a lot of stuff that's around the shop is stuff by various artists. Stuff that I've collected, like that. The one painting up there of me was done by my oil painting teacher, which I don't know if you guys got a look at that. It tells a story. In the mirror is my past, all the demons and stuff. The present is me tattooing. And then a picture of my son is the future. That's probably my favorite piece out of the whole story.
Do you have any regrets in life?
We're covering one of them right now.
That's it.
What do you think is the most bright moment in your life so far?
The birth of my son.
Yeah, the very son.
I don't know if you could tell, but I'm all about my little boy.
Yeah, that's wonderful. No, it's actually what it is the future that we are looking at. It all depends on us in a way, because how we teach them, and the magazine. What we do is we try to find people that encourage. And even though I know you went through so many upsides and downs, you still came out as a person you are today.
Absolutely.
And what do you think keeps you going every day? I know that the son is, of course, one of the main reasons. What do you think would be a lesson for him from you passing on as a parent?
You know, basically, you can accomplish anything in life that you want. You just have to work for it. You know, like I said earlier, you know what? I work a lot. I don't take days off. Maybe I should take a little bit of time for myself and my son. I mean, we have our time. We do stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, follow your dreams. If you have a dream, you know what? Live it one day at a time. That's the best advice I can give.
And do you celebrate every holiday together with your son?
Oh yeah. Well, I have my son 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's great. And what's your favorite holiday with him?
His birthday.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so I know you have a big project for Easter. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, we're doing my foundation. We're doing an event in upstate New York, in Norwich, New York, and we're going out to feed the less fortunate. We have a big. I think we're cooking 15 hams and 20 turkeys, and just helping out the people that need help.
So do you think the biggest factor in being a tattoo artist, you know your art, you know the craft, or what is the key to be an ink master?
Well, the key is not saying you're an ink master.
Because
you know what, when it comes to tattooing, you don't master it. You never do. You know, you make the best out of what you have, and you keep learning. Every day, every time I do a tattoo, I learn something new. So it's all about just keeping an open mind. You know what I mean? Don't think that you're better than anybody else. First time you think you're better than anybody else, you're gonna go downhill. Just keep learning, and keep working, keep striving for what you want. I mean, you see what I've accomplished.
That's amazing.
You know, and this is just the last 5 years with my son.
That's beautiful. And then the purple walls. Why purple? Tell me, is that
my favorite color?
Your favorite color?
Absolutely.
You like a lot of it. So when you work with the ink, what do you pick the color yourself, or do you try to create something different?
Well, you know, I talked in the consultation. I talk to the client, kind of pick their brain a little bit, figure out what their favorite colors are, figure out what they want to do, and kind of basically I take a picture out of somebody else's mind, and then I create it.
And then tell me about needles, because I know a lot of people, they think like, what kind of needles, how do you use it, like what's the process, like the technical part of it?
All right, well, with us, everything we use here is one use. Once we get done tattooing, the needles get thrown into what's called a biohazard box. And then once that box gets full, I have a company that comes and disposes of it for me.
That's great. So it's all like very easy, and then so they feel comfortable. Now, is it a painful process? Can you tell us?
It's really not. It's really not that bad. The first few minutes kind of sucks a little bit. Once you get through the first few minutes, you're good.
Now, and what are the steps? Because I know a lot of people, sometimes they have all black or like gray, and then the color comes out. Is there a way to do the color right away, or what the process?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's all on how long you can sit, you know, and what you're getting done as well. I mean, a full sleeve, which is basically from your wrist to your shoulder, isn't done in one sitting. It takes time. It takes sessions. But it just depends on how long you sit as far as what you can get done.
That's great. So now, what is in the future for you? Like right now, what show are you working on?
We're working on my own show, which we've been working on for the last few months. It's called Under My Skin.
Okay.
There's been some little teasers released about it. I'm sure you've probably seen them. But we're in talks with Spike TV and a couple other networks to try to push things forward. And like my friend Michael Fornicola, may he rest in peace, told me the sky's the limit. There's no telling what the future's going to bring for me.
And then your friend Michael that died, what do you think is the most memory that you have about him?
The sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit.
That sums it all up right there. He would always tell me, you know, no matter, he was there with me when I was down and out, and he would always tell me, he said, Tony, the sky's the limit for you, bro. And every day I do a Facebook post, and my thought of the day, at the end of my thought of the day, I end it with the sky's the limit, and it keeps Michael's name alive.
That's amazing. And what was like the breaking point for you when you decided, I'm going to change my life? I know that Brett Michaels was a big part of that, but like I know that the person has to make their own decision to do it. What was your moment of like aha moment that you said that's it?
But, you know, 17 years of my life I was a drug addict. I still remember the last time I got high. You know, I said enough's enough. You know, I was getting high, and every time I would get high, I'd feel my chest, feel my heart like it would come out of my chest. I was like, you know what, enough's enough. At the time that Brett had said to me, you know, either stay here and die, or you come with me. I decided enough was enough, you know, and I've been clean ever since.
That's great. And then how many people work with you here?
I've got 7 artists here.
Great.
And I've got 3 artists in the other show.
How do you search the artist, or do they come to you? What's the process?
A lot of times they come to me. You know, and then a lot of times it's word of mouth.
And then when people come here, do they pick the artist or you assign them? How does it work?
Well, I mean, a lot of times, a lot of people that walk through the door know who they want. You know, but a lot of times people don't know who they want. They come through the door, they don't know who they want, they give them whoever's available. Because everybody that works for me is a decent artist.
So we're here with famous Tony Tattoo, and this is his Raspberry Hard Iced Tea Liquor, which he has in his shop, and it's one of a kind.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful bottle, and the label that he created for his brand. Gorgeous. Thank you.
Makes me stand out in the crowd, just like everything else in my life.
Of course. It's a great standing out bottle here. And JC? This is JC, 50 miles to frequency.
How you guys doing?
Yay! And he's joining us as well because he loves tattoos, and we love Tony Tattoo.
I actually, you know, I'm here today in this amazing tattoo studio with Tattoo Tony Rodriguez and Olga from PopImpressKA, and I would like to ask you a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Great. What influenced you to become a tattoo artist?
Well, basically, like I said to her earlier, I grew up in a tattoo shop. The whole reason why I even got involved in the tattoo shop was when I was young, about 11 years old, my brother came home with a tattoo. I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing in the world. I said, I'm gonna go do tattoos. 11 years old, my brother's 17. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know. Well, 2 years later, I'm the cleanup boy in the tattoo shop, and that's when I started following my dream.
Oh, that is very cool. Now, did your brother, did he teach you how to tattoo?
No, actually, I learned from a gentleman by the name of Gene Bernardo in Asbury Park.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. And I know, I'm friends with a lot of tattoo artists, and, I know, when they first start tattooing, usually they start on either melons, or they start on fake skin, because they have the fake skin, which is very popular now. Right. Or, people come in and they give them a free tattoo. Right. Now, did you start on any of those objects, or did you just start on people?
I started tattooing in the 80s. There was no fake skin.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the first thing I tattooed was my brother. I think when my brother dies, there's going to be a tattoo embedded on his bone. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning. I was a little cleanup boy in the shop. I wound up snagging a needle and a little cup of ink, and I was going to go home and tattoo my brother. Yeah, I definitely screwed him up pretty good.
Pushed a little too hard, right?
I think it'll be on his bone when he gets started, you know.
I noticed that with some tattoos, because obviously, I have tattoos myself. I notice some artists that I tattoo by, they push, you know, they're more on the gentler side, and some of them really like to dig deep.
Right.
You know, when you're tattooing somebody, do you really, you know, do they experience a lot of that deep digging, or are you more of a gentle artist?
Well, I mean, everybody's got a different opinion. You know, some people say I'm light-handed, some people say I'm heavy-handed. You know, it's however you want to word it. You know, it's not. It's really, if you let the needle do the work, there's no sense in having to apply any type of extra pressure because the needle does all the work. All you have to do is guide it. You know, if you find somebody who's trying to dig for gold, then you need to get out of the chair.
And I guess a lot of people's skin is different. Some people have thick skin, some people don't. So I guess that depends on the person as well, the individual.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what was the most emotional tattoo that you've ever done on somebody?
Done on somebody?
Something that, you know, meant so much to that person, maybe because it was, you know, because of the loss of a loved one, and you know, it was a very emotional piece, just, you know, for both you and that individual as you were doing it. What was the most emotional experience?
I mean, honestly, just recently, you know, like I was talking Olga earlier, my best friend passed away, and when he passed away, actually, I've even got the tattoo for him. A lot of the family and stuff came in and got the Sky's the Limit, and you know, I mean, that brought me into tears. It brought family into tears. I mean, it's probably one of the most emotional, like truly emotional ones.
Oh wow! I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? He's in a better place. I'll join him one day. So.
But not now.
Not right now.
A lot going on.
I do.
Lots of things to do.
Yeah, too much.
Lots of people to help.
So, you know, obviously I overheard you speaking with Olga before. You do a lot of wonderful things, from what I'm hearing. A lot of wonderful charities. What was one of the most touching ones that you've done that really hit your heart? What charity would that be?
I mean, honestly, all the stuff we've been doing for Sandy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it all hits home. I mean, I was here when Sandy hit, you know what I mean? And I seen the destruction and the aftermath and the, you know, people left homeless and people that lost things, you know what I mean? And for me to be able to help one or two people or 3 or 4 people, you know what I mean? That's what really touches the heart, when you can actually step up and help somebody, especially a neighbor, you know?
Sure. I notice on TV, you know, there's a lot of tattoo artists, you know, getting into the whole reality TV thing.
Right.
Is that something that you thought about?
We've got something in the works, but it's not your typical drama, you know, excuse my language, bullshit TV shows. A lot of those shows you see on TV, they're scripted. Whether they want to say they're scripted or they want to say they're not scripted, there's, you know what, there's a camera and there's a producer. And the producer says what they want to say. You know what I mean? I'm working on something that's a little more heartfelt. It has to do with me being a single father, leading the life that I lead. I mean, I've walked a mile in shoes that most people will never walk a mile in. You know, from becoming a recovering drug addict to being out touring with Brett Michaels with thousands and thousands of people. Wow. There's not a lot of people that can say that they've done what I've done. But it's to show a side of me that most people don't know. You know, the father, the businessman, the entrepreneur. You know. And you know, and your son, I'm sure he must really look up to you because you're doing a lot of wonderful things. He's trying to be crazy.
Is he?
He's a good boy.
Yes.
Oh,
he is.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously we saw you know, your motorcycle, which is really badass, by the way, I have to say. But we saw his as well, and that's got to be really cool.
For a 5-year-old.
Yeah, how many 5-year-olds you know that own a Harley?
Yeah.
It's true.
He does.
I'm jealous. I don't even own a Harley. I have a Yamaha. Oh, I'll trade them.
There you go.
Is that your favorite bike brand? Harley?
Yeah, I mean, I love Harleys. I mean, I grew up riding a Triumph back in the day. But it really doesn't matter whether it's a Harley, Yamaha, whatever it is. You know what? It's 2 wheels and goes.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
As long as you're riding, right?
Absolutely.
I say the same thing. As long as, you know, you got the wind in your hair and
That's
you're cruising down the highway,
That's it.
it's all that matters.
That's it.
So, do you look at riding as a symbol of freedom?
Absolutely. You know what? I can be all pissed off and whatever, and I get out on the bike, go for a ride for an hour or so, and come back. You know, you clear your head.
Not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world.
That's why people are so
That's
addicted
really cool.
to bikes.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
It's an adrenaline rush, but at the same time, it's definitely a stress reliever.
Absolutely.
Well, you get in
Very
touch
cool.
with the inner self. There's so many see nature and trees around, it calms you down.
Yeah, absolutely.
The scenery.
It's almost like you're, you know, from my experience, I always feel like it's spiritual in a way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And like I said, you know, you get out there, you go for a run, you come back, and you're like, I don't know what.
Still to this day, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, I mean, I'm in the music world, I'm in the entertainment world, and I'm around this all the time. You know, I'm around people that use, you know, I myself, I'm clean, but I'm around it, I see it, and you know, I'm around people that are clean and sober, you know, as of yourself. My biggest question to you is because, you know, when I ask them, you know, hey, how do you feel when you're around this? They tell me sometimes they crave it. Do you sometimes crave it too?
Honestly, you know what? I mean, I've lived that life. I've walked in those shoes. You know what? It could be right out in front of me and it doesn't bother me anymore. You know, maybe 2-3 years ago, yeah. But I mean, I'm at my 9-year mark. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm always gonna be an addict for the rest of my life, and nothing I can do about that. Like just for example, I see these things on TV about I went to such and such rehab, and I'm no longer an addict. You know, that's the biggest crock of shit you'll ever hear in your life. You know, an addict's always an addict. No matter if you're 9 years clean or 30 years clean, you're still an addict for the rest of your life.
So, so what are your plans? You know, obviously you have this shop, and you have another location as well,
Yes.
from what I understand.
It's South Amboy.
Oh.
We just opened another shop. It's called Another Tattoo Shop.
Wow, very
Over
cool.
Route 9. We just reopened the place about 2 months ago. And you know, business is good up there. You know, business is good there. It's good here.
That's excellent. Are you looking to, you know, expand as far as, you know?
Oh,
That's it.
no. Two's enough.
Two of your babies.
Yeah, that's it. 2 and a baby. You can make a TV show out of that.
And it, was that knife, like, I'm really impressed by that knife. Is it special for you?
Yes, actually, 3 or 4 years ago, the troops in Pakistan sent knives over for myself, Brett, the Brett Michaels band. They sent over a whole lump sum of knives of Brett's band. You know, of course, I'm part of Brett's band. And each one was engraved with their names and logos and stuff like that. So it's something very special. And there's actually a message on the back of that.
And what does it say?
It says Merry Christmas. Thank you for all the love and support from the troops. And then Sergeant First Class Wayne Aragon, who sent them over to all of us.
Yeah, that's very
That's
special.
amazing. That really is.
That's
That's something to be very proud of.
Absolutely, that's why it hangs right there.
Yeah.
I look at it every day.
Yeah.
That is very amazing, actually.
Well, it's amazing that you are such an inspiration and Brett as well to all the troops out there.
Absolutely.
Because these people go through such a hurricanes of
Oh,
life
yeah,
and
yeah. I mean,
despair.
they put their lives on the line every day for us.
Absolutely.
You know,
So, you know, we see you have a lot of really nice guitars on your wall.
that's only a couple. You got to see, I got upstairs.
How many do you have?
I got 18 total,
Wow.
and I've got them signed. Besides the ones from Brett and Poison, I've got stuff from my dear friend Loretta Lynn. Very, very famous country singer, and a very dear friend of mine. I have an autographed bass and an autographed guitar signed with her upstairs.
Wow.
I've got stuff from the guys from Black Label Society, AC/DC, Aerosmith, who else? Trickster. I mean, the list will go on and on. I've got an office upstairs here. Down this whole wall and down this whole wall is nothing but autographed guitars.
That's amazing.
And I've got stuff in the cases that I don't even take out. So.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That is
So
very cool.
is that your hobby collection? Like,
Yeah,
call
I'm like a hoarder when it comes to that.
to that?
You want what? An autographed guitar? All right, yeah, I got it.
You just get that from people.
I do.
They just send it to you.
I do, they do.
That's
Actually,
amazing.
I'm going to be seeing my friends from Leonard Skinner this summer, and they're going to be doing a little something for me to hang in my office. So.
Wow.
Very cool. So, so I see, you know, obviously, you know, you're big into music.
Yes.
You know, a lot of your friends are, you know, musicians.
Yes.
Very well-known musicians.
Yes.
And are you a musician yourself?
I am. I'm a bass player.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
How long have you been playing?
Probably most of my life. I just don't. I don't get out and play. I mean, if I'm gonna play, I'll hang out and just jam a few lips
I
upstairs.
was gonna say, where do you find the time between
Yeah.
the two tattoo shops
Yeah, I
and your motorcycle, your son?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time.
Do you sleep much?
No,
No.
no. Hour a day, I'm good.
Keeps you going. That's great. So, Tony, how do we find you on Facebook, on website? What's the best?
Facebook.com, and then Tattoo Tony Rodriguez.
Very good.
Also under my skin, tat2.com. And also the organization is undermyskinforlife.org.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
PopImpressKA Journal.
That's right. And this is Tony Rodriguez, Tony Tattoo. And thank you so much.
welcome.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you.